Hi, folks. Steve Urban here, founder and CEO at Riderflex. We hope you enjoy today's podcast. And as a reminder, please subscribe to the Riderflex show for updates on new episodes. And by the way, if you haven't already, check out the book we recently launched, The Riderflex Guide, Inspiring and Hiring, available for purchase on Amazon. And now, a quick word from our sponsor.
Try the #1 marketing platform for small business. Everything you need from design to marketing to CRM. Learn more at marketing360.com. Marketing 360. Fuel your brand.
Brad Malin on the Riderflex podcast. How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing great. How about you, Steve?
I'm doing fine. Looking forward to getting into companion CBD. I've had a lot of cannabis and CBD clients on the podcast, not clients, guests, excuse me. I'm saying clients. You know, our day job at Riderflex is a recruiting firm, right? So that's our day job, is a recruiting and staffing firm. So I'm used to saying clients, but guests. I mean, I've had a lot of guests on the show in your space. So I'll be curious to get your slant on it and get your take on everything. But before that, tell me about Brad. I want to know about Brad, the person, man. Give me some history with the family and kind of where you grew up and where you're from, things like that. If you don't mind, give us a little overview.
How much time do we have? Well, all right, I can do that. Well, first things first is it's my birthday, so it's a good start to the day.
All right, 21. Excellent.
Oh, yes, I wish. I still feel like I'm 21, but might have a few more gray hairs, but I'm not complaining.
Isn't it interesting how in our minds we see ourselves as younger, kind of visually in our own mind, right? By the way, that gets a hell of a lot worse as you get older. Like when I'm around other 56-year-olds, I look at them and go, "Well, I'm not with that. I'm not with them."
Tell me about it.
I'm not in that group. I'm over here. I'm over here with 30-year-olds.
We're just trying to reverse the aging process, right? Whichever way that works.
yes. But anyway, happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. So I guess, all right, we can start back from, born and raised in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, which is the eastern suburbs, just 25 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. Yes, I'm a diehard Steeler fan.
Of course.
Always have. I come from a family. I was the spoiled middle son.
Okay.
I have two brothers, one older, one younger. And, my father was an entrepreneur, which put me into the path that I've been in over the last 26 years of my life. So I was raised in that mentality, which I'm grateful for. So, what
did he do? What did he do? What was your dad?
My dad was he was in the automotive parts and accessories industry. So he was like an independent distributor, carried multiple product lines of parts and accessories for cars. I'm a huge car guy. He's a car guy. Obviously I was raised into that as well.
Okay. I see. Okay. So he had his own business. Did he have employees? Was it just him, or how big was it?
No, it was just like a small independent agency. I mean, I think he had a couple of employees that worked for him, but he was a hustler. And again, as we all are today, you have to be.
Right, brother.
So
how about your mom?
My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was driving myself a lot around, playing ball, and my brothers, and to and fro, and making sure that we were eating and had our clothes pressed for school, and just being your good old homemaker.
It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I think it's wonderful that she was able to do that, and I we could do a whole podcast on this next topic, but I wish there was more of that going around, because it's so awesome when you have a parent that is able to do all of that during the day, really look over things, take everybody to the activities and the sports and driving them around. And with three boys, if all three of you were active in athletics, it was busy at your house.
It was busy. And, I sat on the curb, waiting for her to pick me up. That's why I am always early. I love you, Mom, but in terms of punctuality, she didn't have that. But
She didn't have that. Were you the last kid? You're like everybody else for the practice field is gone. You're like, okay, I'm still here.
yeah, it was before the good old iPhone, right? So sitting there kind of like, should I start walking or like, what's the deal?
Okay, pretty cool. Were you a good kid? Or were you, did you, I mean, rebel? How would you classify yourself?
Yeah, I was a good kid. I'm not just saying that. I was raised in the right environment, which I'm grateful for.
Okay.
I got into very little bit of trouble, like we all do stupid little things,
Yeah.
throwing toilet paper on the trees. But I was an athlete. I didn't have time to get in trouble because I was playing ball so much. And between that and school and even some other extracurriculars, I was, my focus was sports, believe it or not. I wasn't your academic, straight A student. School wasn't easy for me, but I did what I needed to do to get by. I respected my elders as I was raised. And I think people would say that I was a very respectable young man.
You didn't have to call your dad from the sheriff's office or anything at any point?
No, I did not.
How about your brothers? Anything you want to confess for them?
The brothers the same way, my older brother was more on the quieter side. And then my younger brother, he was similar to myself. Again, we all were athletes and, but no one did any time or caused any huge problems. Yeah, I was more of the drama guy just because I got the injury bug early. Ooh. And it kind of hit me hard through my career, which kind of took me out of the game and had some opportunities that I couldn't pursue due to that. But you live and you learn.
Wow. So you could have went, what do you think? D1, D2? Like where were you in the mix there? What could you have done, you think?
So I was a soccer player turned place kicker. I played soccer all over as a youth. It was truly amazing. Had D1 opportunities for both. And unfortunately, I got hit by a car.
Oh, damn. How old were you?
And, I ruptured my back and 3 discs in my spine. I'm on my 6th back surgery.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, but it's taught me so much. I mean, because I dealt with it for so much of my life. And interestingly enough, prior to getting involved in my CBD company that I started 5 years ago, my background is medical device distribution. So I was in the OR every day for many, many, many years, selling sports medicine implants and other instrumentation and equipment and other products as well.
You were either there selling or getting worked on.
It was a combination of both. I mean, just from my experience, I kind of, people come to me like I'm an MD, but obviously.
Damn, bro, I feel for you, man. You have 6 back surgeries. Holy shit. And we could do a whole new podcast on that too, right? Because I've heard so many nightmares about back surgeries.
Oh yeah. I could write a book. I've learned a ton. I've learned how to change my life to function. Believe it or not, I've had a total of 17 surgeries. Okay. I'm actually labeled disabled.
Really? Wow.
I am.
Wow.
But I don't accept it. I don't obviously take it. I don't utilize it in terms of being on disability. I'm not.
So you mentioned that hustle thing earlier, which you got from your parents, of course. And, there are so many guys in your position that are sitting at home watching Netflix, just collecting their checks, doing nothing. Yeah. And here you are, just still hustling. Well,
I was born as a hustler. I really believe you're born into it. Yeah. Number one. Number two, which I haven't mentioned, my pride and joy and why I get up every morning and hustle as hard as I do is I have 2 amazing daughters.
So you had daughters. You ended up having daughters. That's pretty cool. I'm sure your parents are happy about that.
Oh, they were. I was like, I wanted to have at least one, but I did want to have a boy to, kind of mold into junior, but it didn't play out that way. But quite frankly, I see what some of my friends go through with their sons, and I'm like, wow. And they're like, you have 2 daughters? That's crazy. I'm like, you know what? My kids, knock on marble or whatever I'm knocking on right now. They're amazing kids.
Cool. How old are they?
Great relationship with co-parenting relationship, single dad with their mom.
Single dad. Oh, damn. 17 operations and the divorce and 2 kids. Damn, bro. What you
like I said, how much time we have?
Oh my God. How old are the girls?
16 and 19. So
teenagers even. Okay, so you didn't throw that in there. Teenagers, let's see. 2 teenage girls, single dad, back surgeries left and right. Oh, by the way, you're an entrepreneur and a business owner, which is also super stressful.
Yes, it is. And I just got back from spring break with them and 2 of their friends, and we were down in Mexico, and
that's cool.
It was an eye-opening experience because these girls they're older, they're more mature, and I'm used to just they were 5 to 9, 7, 8 years old, just kind of let's build a sandcastle. And now it's kind of we're not building sandcastles anymore.
No, they go to the swimming pool, and all the guys they're looking and trying to make moves, and you're trying to like kind of not pay attention but somewhat pay attention or something like that.
Something like that. I mean, according to them, I guess I'm the cool dad. I don't try to be cool. I'm a super chill, even keel kind of guy. I worked a ton. I'm sitting on the beach with my laptop doing what I got to do. You got to keep the business going. So we had a heck of a time. It was nice to get away for a few days. Yeah,
that's great, man. No, that's good. So how long have you been divorced?
13, 14 years.
Oh, really? Wow. Are you single? You don't have like a partner or significant other, girlfriend, anything right now? Nothing?
Nope. Been looking.
13 years is a long time.
Yeah. It's being the single guy, I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and 60% of people that live in my area are divorced, and it's the same old people. So like dating that's a whole nother podcast we should do about dating. I'm going to write a book. I've probably started.
Really? Yes.
It's a shit show. But again, I would love that companion, yet I have yet to find someone that warrants my time and doesn't have I don't want to say
doesn't have skeletons and the baggage and all the rest of it.
Bingo.
I got some single friends. Thank God I'm married to my beautiful wife, Kim, but I do have several single friends, and man, they just tell me all the time. They're like, at first it was great. And then, I looked behind this one curtain and not good.
Yeah, it's a crazy world because it's like, I'm at that phase of my life where I do have more time because my kids aren't really kids anymore. They have their own lives. And when they're here, they're not even here because, they got their activities and sports and work and this. And it's like, but again, like my mom says, just be patient. You'll find the love of your life. And okay.
Yeah, you probably will. I'm sure you've tried all the apps. You've probably tried them all. You've tried them all, probably.
I'm a platinum subscriber for every one of them. At least I have been at some point. Once again, I can give a lot of people advice about that.
How about the fact that how about the fact that 80% of the pictures don't match?
I could tell you. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. But now you're dealing with bots half the time. So these people aren't even real. And you start a communication with someone and then you're like, what? It's a lot of wasted time. And that's one of my pet peeves in life is do not waste
time. I have one of my boys is 32 and he's divorced, unfortunately. And he calls me up that he's like, man, I got kicked off my second app. He's like, I've been kicked off twice now. I'm like, well, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I was like, well, you're doing something wrong. I don't know. I'm not experienced that. I can give you a lot of advice, but I can't give you any advice on those. Call Dan, call Brad. He can tell you.
I can give him some feedback. I mean, I've never been kicked off any apps, but I obviously am not doing anything right either because I'm still on them.
Well, does the CBD slash kind of cannabis, does that work with the ladies when you throw that out there? Is that like, oh, they think that's cool?
Interestingly enough, yeah. I mean, when you say the word CBD, everybody thinks that's automatically, they think marijuana, they think cannabis.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Most people's reaction is like, ooh, like you said. So it's like, oh, that's cool. But when I say pets, and depending on the person, if I do a little recon prior to meeting someone, I'll just say, hey, I'm in the pet supplement business. Depending on,
I see. Yeah.
Person,
okay. I got you. Pet supplement. I like that. You got it. Okay. I see. You got a couple of different lines you can throw out there. If you
Unfortunately, it's kind of, I try to play everyone's card the right way. It's not easy.
Oh, very good. So, let me double back. So I guess this is why you went to University of Pittsburgh, obviously, because you're from that area, right? And,
yes.
So when you majored in communications and business, was that like kind of like, I don't really know what the hell I want to do, so I'll major in this? Was that, because I majored in communications, by the way, and that's why I majored in communications.
Got it. Well, interestingly enough, I wanted to get into sports medicine, be a sports medicine doctor.
Oh,
and
okay.
So when I was entertaining, and of course, like my parents and, my brothers are like, dude, you weren't the strongest guy academically. How the hell are you going to be a doctor?
Right. Yeah.
But, if I could turn things back, I should have gone that route, because my passion is medicine. I've been in human medicine forever. I've been in veterinary medicine too for a long time, which led me to obviously companion CBD. But when I was looking at colleges and playing ball, and I told them what I wanted to major in, they're like, unless you're like some kind of Doogie Howser guy, you can't be an athlete and be a doctor. It's just, there's not enough time in the day, and so then I was like, all right, well, let's go to plan B. And the plan B was, I was a born salesman because my dad was, obviously. Okay. And so I was like, let's do something that makes a little bit more sense and a little bit more versatile.
Okay.
That's kind of how I ended up being, a business communications kind of major.
And then so then you walked into a sales career a little bit in medical devices. I didn't, your LinkedIn is not super deep with that, so I couldn't tell. Most of the time I get to do a lot more reconnaissance on people, but so you had a little career there for a while?
In medical device? Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I've been in medical device for over 20 years.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I still have a distribution company that kind of runs on its own. I don't focus very much time on it anymore, but I still have clients, from hospitals to independent, practitioners that may want a piece of equipment, like, an ultrasound machine or something. And I'll either get it for them or put them in that direction.
Okay.
But I did that for many, many years. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, walk me through then. How did it happen? What you're like, you woke up one day, you're like, selling this shit sucks. I want to do my own thing. What, or did you have let me guess, you had a pet maybe or something? I don't know. What, tell me how it happened. The jump.
How companion happened?
Yep. Exactly. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. It was interesting. I got a phone call from a recruiter. And she was a device recruiter, and she said, "Hey, Brad, and I knew her pretty well. And she knew my background. She's like, I have something that I think you're ideal for. She's like, what do you know about CBD? And I said, oh, you mean like the cannabis stuff? Again, I wasn't educated. I didn't know what the hell.
So no cannabis use for you and the brothers in Pennsylvania. No pot smoking in the college, high school days at all.
I'll be real, a little.
Okay.
Again, being an athlete, that was my focus. So
you had to be careful.
Party. I wasn't a huge partier, but
you weren't the guy. You weren't the guy with the dime bag.
No. However, I was the guy setting up the parties, collecting people, giving them their red sippy cup, not sippy cup.
Okay.
I was the guy trying to make money. I've always been about that. So.
Okay. So I was just trying. Yeah. What I was trying to see if you were like, were you a heavy candidate? I didn't know if you were like all into it. So you were a typical kid back then. Like, oh, if there's a party and maybe it's going around, but you didn't. Okay, I got you. So I'm with you. All right. So anyway, you get this call from the recruiter. Go ahead. I cut you off there.
Yeah, no worries. So she called me and started telling me about this new company, yada yada yada. And I said, send me some of their products. And my brother, interestingly enough, has been in the cannabis industry for over 30 years.
Oh wow, that's a whole nother. You got several podcasts we could come back on and talk about. That's a whole nother story.
He's one of the top 100 influential people in cannabis. I mean, he's a boss. So
what's his name?
His name is Brian.
Brian. All right.
Brian. Yeah. And he's, again, he's another hustler, very successful. He's been in that industry forever. He's that guy that was experiencing with that stuff at an earlier age. Right.
Okay. Mom and dad, confession time, in case mom and dad listen to this, just so you know. Right.
I'm transparent, man.
I can just see next Thanksgiving, Brian's over and your mom's like, so were you doing that in the house when you were a junior in high school? This is going to be good. Okay. All right. So you call your brother, or I guess you get this product, you call your brother and you're like, hey, and you guys start talking.
Yeah, I kind of asked him a little bit about the industry and this, that, and the other, because, one thing with my brother, we never really mixed businesses. I mean, I did my thing in medical and, things like that. So, and he was just like, oh yeah, CBD is going to be a big deal, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, all right, well, that's good to know. So long story short, the recruiter person sent me product and I was entertaining my 7th back surgery. It's in bad shape. This is like 6.5 years ago. And she sends me this product and they basically looked like baby aspirin. They were like these pills. And it was pure CBD, no THC in it. And she's like, just take it. It will help you with anxiety. It can help do a lot of different things. I'm like, all right, I'm in, I'll try it. I mean, because I've been taking more pills than you name it. And eventually I just quit because it didn't do anything except for have side effects. So
by the way, I was going to ask you, I mean, so many, I don't know how deep you want to go, but so many people with that kind of back problem end up hooked on opioids and just all kinds of pain pills. I mean,
absolutely.
I am. Yeah, go ahead.
Lucky. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're so right. It's an epidemic today. It's been going on for many years. Again, me being in that environment in medical device and as a patient, getting prescribed, OxyContin and Percocet and Darvocet and oh my goodness. I mean, obviously you can't do that. Physicians aren't readily available, just passing them out like they had been, because there's obviously things have changed significantly in the industry, as we all know. But I don't have an addictive personality, thank God, because we could be talking about, addiction and so many other horrible things that so many people go through on a daily basis.
Lucky for you, man. Good for you. Good for you. Cause you could have easily been one of those guys, man. Interestingly enough, so I get steroid injections in my back and my neck for arthritis a couple times a year, and I just went yesterday, matter of fact, coincidentally, and the guy who does it for me, he told me, he said, because this is what he does for a living, is take care of people with back pain and give them injections and stuff, right? He said 80% of his clients are hooked on opioids. And a lot of times before he can do a procedure, he has to take them through some sort of detox thing or something. I can't remember how he described it, but he basically said, he's like, almost all my clients are hooked on pills because they're just in pain all the time. So anyway, I'm glad that that didn't happen for you, my friend.
Thank you. That's brutal. So you're getting steroid injections, huh?
Yes, man. I got arthritis in some places, and
does it help?
That's why
it's kind of a Band-Aid.
It does. Yeah. It doesn't it doesn't cure anything, but it makes me feel better for several months. And now he did tell me, there's a whole nother podcast we could do. He did tell me, like, eventually this shit's not going to work. But for right now it's working. I've asked him a bunch. I'm like, so what happens when I'm 65 and it doesn't work anymore? And he's like, well, we'll talk about it then.
Well, that's the mentality. That's a good mentality. I mean, I need another huge surgery, and I don't see myself doing it anytime soon because I'm in phenomenal shape. I feel great. I live day to day, And,
That's good. That's
if and
good.
when that happens, we'll roll with it then.
Roll with it then. So now these pills you got in, by the way, these were not pet CBD. This was, or was it?
No. So
Okay.
it was a human product,
All right.
startup company. And so, yeah, so I take these pills, right. And I get them, and I woke up the next morning, I was cured. No, I'm kidding. After 3 nights, my biggest issue was sleeping. Again,
Okay.
having a bad back,
Okay.
and I'll tell you about the 6 shoulder surgeries I've had. I'm a side sleeper. The sleeping's brutal. Always has been. So I was like, man, if I can just get a few extra legitimate hours of sleep, I'm good. That would help tremendously. So the CBD, the first thing I noticed was, slept decent last night. And then day 4, day 5, day 6, same kind of thing. I'm like, wow, I actually slept 4 hours without like tossing and turning. So long story short, I was like, oh, there's something to this stuff.
Okay.
So I researched it heavily and reached out to some pain management doctors that I did business with, and talked to my brother again in the cannabis world, and just really looked at it hard. And then I went and I ran this company for about a little less than a year.
Because the recruiter had called you about that company. I got you. All right. Can you name the company, or?
I got to keep that confidential.
Okay. All right. So you go. All right. You ran it as a CEO or president, or what they put you?
I was like the vice president of sales and marketing.
Okay. All right. So you go do that. All right.
Yeah. So, they brought me on due to my experience on the human side. And, I've taken products from start through the FDA IRB process, and some that are being still sold today. So I have a lot of knowledge and background there. So my pitch to them was, there's a lot I can do with this product, because number one, I can't believe it's helped me, considering my condition as a train wreck. And then I said, we need to look at the animal health market, companion animals, primarily dogs, cats.
Why? What was the passion there? Were you a pet lover? What was the?
Yeah. Well, not only was I a pet lover, and, I've always was raised with dogs. I still have 2 dogs today. I've sold products in the veterinary marketplace, imaging. And a colleague and friend of mine, who I've done business with, I conferred with him, and I was just like, hey, what do you know about CBD for pets? And he's a doctor, he's a linear veterinarian, uber smart, very successful. And I value his expertise and his opinion on things. And he was like, well, animals have endocannabinoid systems just like humans. And in an endocannabinoid system, it's kind of like an electrical system in our body. And when you feed it CBD, there's different receptor profile sites in your body that will react to the CBD that you're consuming, that gives the multitude of medicinal benefits. Okay. So again, I have to be very careful how I use my vernacular here, because that's the problem with the industry. And I can touch on that in a second. But so I spoke with the owner of the company that I was running at the time, and I said, this is what we need to take a serious look at. So I ended up hiring him, bringing him on to do the study. So we did a study with 100 animals, 100 dogs, over 10 veterinary clinics across the United States, using their product.
Who funded? Was that? Were you funding that yourself? Were you doing that on the side? I want to make sure I understand how you did that.
Yeah, it was funded by the company.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. I see. Okay.
They funded it. We were able to do it very inexpensively because of, my business partner, who's the veterinarian who I brought on to do the study, had his colleagues, and we said, hey,
this is
what we're doing, you want to be a part of it. So
I got you.
So we were able to make it happen in the right way.
Okay, cool.
So the end result was 96% of the dogs that took the product, the pet owners saw improvement, and it was more for osteoarthritis.
Okay.
So that was the study which was geared to. So again, long story short there, the company kind of sat on it. and they didn't really want to move forward in that veterinary marketplace. And there was just some other kind of, challenges that we had, and my visions weren't really being, looked at in a serious manner. And that's when
Plus, you had the entrepreneurial bug, and that is living inside you, eating away anyway.
Absolutely. And it was a phenomenal experience because I learned a lot. I mean, they were good people. And I learned so much about the industry, and I knew like what the real issues were, which is education. And so then I went and I talked to, again, my veterinary colleague, friend, Josh Sosnow, who's my business partner. And I was just like, I'm going to start a CBD company.
Cool.
Are you in?
You in? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
He's like, give me a couple of days. Let me think about it. And then literally like the next morning, he's like, let's roll with this.
That's cool.
That was in 2017. We launched the company in October of 2018. And we're still grinding day in, day out.
Did you, before we do an overview, did you both double time it at first with your jobs and start with nights and weekends, or did you just quit and use some savings and go all in? That little transition point is always a big topic for the listeners, because they're always, most people, I mean, there's a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs out there that have an idea, but they can't figure out financially how to make the jump right there, And so Absolutely. A lot of them are curious, like, okay, well, what'd you do? Did you quit? How'd you do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my business partner has 2 successful veterinary hospitals. So, he runs those day to day. He's not in, he has, a large staff. So it didn't, so he was able to kind of do both.
Okay.
I went in 100%, kind of gave up everything else I was doing. I'm like, this is it. This is my passion. This is a huge risk. I'm going all in. And
wow. Did you walk in and tell your boss, like, hey, that pet thing I tried to tell you to do? I'm going to go do that. See you.
Interestingly enough, there was some contact after the fact. They saw what we were doing, and I, I'm a believer that you never burn a bridge, but like they still just didn't get it, and I still was trying to do some kind of a joint venture type of collaboration with them, and they just, I was like, forget it.
Yeah, forget it. All right. Yeah. So, now, can I ask you also, this is the human side of it. What year, when did you launched it when? What year?
October 2018.
18. Oh, okay. All right. So you'd already been, all right. I was just curious about your divorce timeline, but you had been divorced for several years. So that was already.
Oh, yeah. Long time.
You already wrote all those checks.
Still writing some of them.
Okay. All right. So you go on that. How'd you do that, Brad? Did you have some investments, some savings? Like did you eat ramen noodles? How'd you do that?
Yeah. Kind of all the above. I don't like ramen noodles, by the way. I ate too many of those in college, but I like to eat good. I'd save some money. Definitely was doing a little bit of, side hustling and I still kind of was moving some medical equipment here and there. It's been, I'm not going to lie. It's been a grind. It's been tough because I'm not independently wealthy. That divorce really crushed me financially. I'm rebuilding even after all those years. Which it is what it is. And, but I'm the kind of guy where, nobody can tell me no. When you tell me no, it's kind of like, I'm so competitive, even with my girls. We could be playing, Monopoly, or charades or whatever, and you're cheating. I'm not a cheater, but I'm that guy where it's like, you want to go one-on-one. I might not beat you, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try hard.
How much money to get it launched? Can you share, like, what do you think it took to get it the product launched and open for sale? What do you think you guys put in?
That's a good question. We had a friends and family raised.
Oh, you did?
The job. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like, I do everything. My partner's the doctor. He does the formulation of the products and answers the questions and all that stuff. And I run everything else.
Okay. Any employees besides you two?
Yeah, we have a couple. We have a few independent representatives that help us sell product, and
Okay.
you know, we have
1099, 1099.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have CTO. I have a CTO that handles all of our back end on the software side, and so
Okay.
we're excited because I can finally start delegating, the
Yeah,
responsibilities to other people and that are smarter than me, because I'm not that smart.
Are you, I guess you guys weren't paying yourself at first. Are you taking a small salary finally now or not yet?
I've been taking a small salary for, since the
Okay.
beginning. It's very small. Yeah. And that'll be nice too So in terms of stability, financially, yeah, it really hasn't been there over the last few years. It's a good thing I'm not married. That's why I'm not married. But that's just how I am. Again, I'm fortunate that I had, I was in the situation to do it.
Okay. How big is the company now? Are you a multi-million-dollar company? Like, where are you in revenue? I don't know how much, maybe you can give us a range. I don't know. How big is the company?
You hit the nail on the head. Again, I kind of have to be careful what I divulge,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
we're a multi-million-dollar company.
That's okay. All right. Very good. Good for you, my
Yeah.
friend.
Thank you.
Now's probably a good time to do the 3-minute elevator pitch. So companioncbd.com is the website. You are a manufacturer, I think an education company, but you also are direct to consumer, because I can see where you can order the product on your website. So, but anyway, give us the pitch, Brad. Go for it.
Yeah, when we first got into this industry, the first thing that we noticed, especially my partner, the veterinarian, is education. This industry is littered with so much misinformation, adulterated products, erroneous claims. And now the FDA is starting to go after people that are doing these things. So how we're different, why Companion, I'll tell you. First of all, we were one of the first, we pioneered the industry. We were one of the first people in it, in the animal health space. Okay. We're veterinarian owned. We're actually the only veterinarian owned CBD manufacturer and education company exclusively for animal health.
Cool.
Okay. So why is that important? Because if your next door neighbor comes over and says, hey, my dog had a bad leg and I found this product on Amazon, you should try it. There's so much of that going on. First of all, it's illegal to sell CBD on Amazon or eBay or any other. So
what do you mean? What do you mean? I type in CBD at Amazon right now, a million stuff.
It's not CBD.
Oh, it's not.
No, you think it is, but it's not. So again,
really?
When I went back to the erroneous claims and all the misinformation and the adulterated products, trust me, we've spoke with Amazon. We've met with Amazon years ago. You cannot, and if you look at their terms and conditions, they will shut you down. Same thing with like PayPal. You can't, PayPal will shut you down.
All right. No, okay. I want to make sure. Wow, this is a shock to me, and I've had a ton of cannabis CBD people on the podcast, so I should know this. So you're telling me that when I see all these CBD products on Amazon, they're calling it CBD something, but it's not. Is it like not 100% CBD, or when you say it's not CBD, I guess, what does that mean? Yeah. Help me with that.
So based on Amazon's guidelines, you cannot sell cannabis or CBD-based products on their platform. However, are there people doing it? There are, because you may order a product that comes to your house and thinking that it's CBD or thinking that it's something else, but you really don't know what it is. That's the reality of how this industry is. There's different, synonyms for CBD oil and hemp seed oil and hemp, and they're all different things. It's all creative, savvy marketing. Wow. And that's what a lot of these companies, they're third-party middlemen that are selling a product that, quite frankly, you don't know what's in it, that could harm yourself and or your pet.
Hmm.
So,
What? Oh, wow. What about all this full spectrum and this crap that I see?
yeah, you can't sell full spectrum on Amazon. Trust me.
You
I
can't.
mean,
You can't. Okay.
no way. I mean, are there people getting away with it? Yeah, there are, but it's just a matter of time until you're
Mm.
going to get shut down. It's kind of like even on Facebook and Instagram. Until very recent, you couldn't promote those
Oh,
products. And there again, being if you had a savvy marketing firm, there were ways to get around it. But again, slow and steady is going to win the race in this industry, and that's
okay.
exactly how we're doing it. But full spectrum, there are trace amounts of THC in it, okay, and other cannabinoids and terpenes and flavonoids, and I know that's all, I'm throwing a lot of technical jargon, but those are all parts of the plant that have benefit. However, if it's 0.03% or more THC in any product, it's considered marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That part I did know. Yeah. So, okay.
that changed. That
Oh,
changed
wow.
back in 2018. The Farm Bill was passed,
Yeah.
where
Right. Right.
CBD and hemp. So you know about all that.
Mhm.
That's really important. Where CBD became descheduled as a class 1 drug, like cocaine or LSD or heroin.
Okay.
I mean,
What about all the pet CBD stuff I see on the Walgreens shelf and stuff like that? Same. Is it real?
is it real? If they don't provide a third-party laboratory report, it's called a certificate of analysis. That's what you need to that's what I need. That's what I'm telling people they need to, if you're shopping for a product, you need to have legitimacy. Okay.
Wow.
So a lot of these other products, they're hemp-based products that are sold in some stores. Like for instance, like Kroger and is one that it does not. You look at Sprouts. Sprouts is big out here in the West, and they sell CBD products, but not ingestible CBD. It's more topical products. Okay. So ingestible products that you consume are completely different from putting on a lotion or a potion that you will see at a Sprouts type of other health foods type of store.
All right. So the biggest thing I've heard you say is, dear Mr. and Mrs. Consumer, if you want real CBD products that can help your pet, companioncbd.com. I wouldn't trust any of the marketing bullshit you see on Amazon or Walgreens, because there's a high probability that it's just shit, basically. That's what I hear you saying.
That's true. That's true. Now, there are some other companies in the animal health space that are legit. They're good companies. I mean, it's competitive. The competition's good. But here's where we really, as far as the pitch, if you will, comes in, is again, we treat this as individualized medicine for pets.
Okay.
So you can go to our website and click on, we have a feature, it's called Ask a Vet. You can schedule a time to speak with one of our veterinarians on staff and be educated about CBD, how it possibly can help manage your pet's condition. Now, what I just said, possibly help manage your pet's condition. That's how we do things here. We're not here to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose anything. Otherwise, the FDA comes knocking at your door, starts throwing big fines around, and believe it or not, some of the 800-pound gorillas out there that are cannabis companies that have CBD products, they're making these erroneous claims, and there's companies going in and out of business. I mean, with the way the economy is, I mean, things are nutty right now.
Yes.
But again, we have, slow and steady is going to win the race. The biggest, I would say, piece of the puzzle of companion CBD, and the most thing I'm proud of, is my partner, Dr. Josh Sosnow. He created and pioneered the first continuing education program for veterinary medicine. So veterinarians need to have continuing education, just like MDs and DOs and naturopaths. They all need to be credentialed, year in, year out. So we were the first to do that. So in the United States, there's roughly 110,000 veterinarians. Not a lot, if you think about it.
That's actually fewer than I would have guessed.
Yeah. So that said, there have been over we're pushing almost 40,000 veterinarians and veterinary professionals that have been trained and educated by us.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Well, all right. And they're part of your network when I dial in?
yeah. And how we did that was this, because I can see you probably,
Yeah. I'm like, how's everybody get paid here? By the way, before you answer that, do you have like a little shade, or is there there's some sunlight hitting your face and it's glaring
oh, is it?
Is there, there we go.
This light.
I don't know if it's a window or something. Maybe that's it. Okay. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah. Right away. I'm like, how do these people get paid? How'd you set that up? Yeah. Explain it to me.
Yeah. So, we did a lot of exhibiting at veterinary conferences. So that's how when we launched the company, we were going to veterinary conferences all over the United States and even world. I mean, we went to Italy for a big veterinary conference, did some speaking there when we launched the company. But we also have a strategic partnership with the Veterinary Practice News, the Vet Med team, which is an industry standard publication for veterinary medicine. So they do a ton of education, and then went to the podcast style when the pandemic hit. So we did all of this training through virtually, the majority of it virtually. And veterinarians and veterinary techs and nurses would do a training continuing education program through us, and that's exactly how we've done it. And, we're continuing to amplify that furthermore. Is that sunny? Is this? I can tell. I have my shade.
I don't know. It looks like there's a light behind you, maybe, or is it up top?
Let me turn this way.
What is that?
Sorry, it's Arizona, man. I got a lot of windows in my house. I'm actually in my office.
It's all good. Yeah, the listeners fully understand. There we go. That's much better. Thank you.
Great.
So you can go to your website, and it's not just, click here and order this. I can like talk to a vet that's going to walk me through. Yes. Hey, here's Rider. By the way, my dog's name is Rider after Riderflex. He can walk me through what Rider actually needs, and then make suggestions of your product because the vet I'm going to be talking to knows about your product.
Yes. So, basically, that's exactly it. I mean, we get emails every day of people that'll click on it and they'll be like, hey, I'm taking this product, I'm taking that product. We can't advise anybody on anybody else's products because we don't know what they are. But we can give people rule of thumb about CBD, the facts of CBD. Yeah. And we do a ton of that. And that's how we build our business through on the veterinary side. When veterinarians were like, because veterinarians still, believe it or not, there's still plenty of vets out there that have not embraced CBD.
Just like plenty of doctors that haven't embraced cannabis. Yeah, same.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same mentality. So that's why, again, we're continuing to provide the most recent, up-to-date, evidence-based science on CBD. And down the road, as cannabinoid science evolves, we'll get into the other aspects of that as well. But, it's our slogan, tagline, whatever you want to call it, is an educated consumer is our best customer. We're all about value, given the facts. I mean, trust me, we turn plenty of people away. We'll have some. There'll be people that'll contact us and say, for example, somebody I remember yesterday, it was a friend of mine, said, hey, their cat has pancreatitis. Will CBD help? So I contacted our vet team and they said there's no clinical data that supports it. Don't believe it probably will. We relayed that back to the potential customer, and they said, well, we still want to try it. And we said, okay, that's great. But again, we're not that company that's going to be like, oh yeah, it's not a panacea. It's not a cure-all.
That is white glove service, man. That is special service you're giving there. I mean, that is so far and away. That's so far and above anything else any other retailer is doing that I know of. I mean, that's pretty special.
Thank you. That means a lot because, we spend a significant amount of time And you click on our website and you click on that Ask a Vet button, and you can fill out a form. You can send an email. You can say, hey, I want to talk to somebody, whatever it may be. And we're on it like super quick. I mean, we have a team, and, it's usually within, less than a couple hours. Sometimes it could be within 15, 20 minutes.
That's great. And the formulas, I mean, it is cool that you got a veterinarian that's an owner, and he's kind of the chief flavor officer, so to speak.
Yes.
Is there super secret patent formulas, anything? Does that even work in this space? I don't know.
I wish I could say yes, but no, you can't patent CBD because CBD is a molecule, right?
Okay. Okay.
It's kind of, but we have a proprietary formula that we put together that Dr. Josh did. But there's no patents.
Okay. And what's special about that proprietary formula? What's your pitch? Like when people tell me that, I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's proprietary, but why is it so much more awesome?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. We wanted to put together a product line that was most importantly safe, that is effective, and that's affordable. That's exactly what we've done. I mean, we've won multiple, awards, and we experimented with everything from CBD oils and full spectrum and broad spectrum and CBD isolate. There's different forms of CBD. And most importantly, if the pet's not going to eat it, then we don't have a business.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So after doing our R&D and due diligence before we launched the company, our product is a 2-gram, it's a soft chew. Okay. Like a little nugget. We don't call them treats as everybody else does, because there's therapeutic amounts of CBD in our products. So we call them soft chews. It's an extruded product. There's no heat involved. It's kind of like a big old KitchenAid mixing bowl. Throw it in there, throw the CBD. We use CBD isolate, by the way. CBD isolate is the purest, cleanest form of CBD out there. 0 THC. There's no other flavonoids or terpenes in it. It's strictly the crystallized version of CBD. And that's what works for us now. Down the road, we'll venture into other aspects of the different cannabinoids in the plant, which there's well over 100 of them. So that's what we're for.
And you have chewables. What do you have? Do you have? I see 8 SKUs on the website. Is that right?
We actually have 4 SKUs, but the other 4 are bundles. So, so we have 4 products. I'm gonna try to hold this up and see if you can see.
Yeah, man. Let me see. Yep. Let me see.
So here's the nugget. So
where do you have them manufactured? Who's packaging them for you and manufacturing them?
We have a contract manufacturer here locally that handles that.
Where in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went through a co-packer to make it, bottle it, and do they ship it for you as well? Do they handle shipping too, or no?
No, we do.
Oh, so you warehouse it and then you ship it?
Warehouse it. We sell to veterinarians. We sell directly to veterinarians. Some small boutique stores. We're going to be going into major retail very soon as the industry changes. I mean, we have major plans for expansion.
Your multi-million-dollar revenue is the largest percent of that to veterinarians, or is it the B2C off your website? I'm curious how your revenue is split up.
B2C.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really? Yep. Wow. Okay. All right. So now, that's pretty damn impressive, because the fact that you're not on Amazon, it's hard to get a $1 million brand direct to the consumer only on your own website. That is hard to do.
You're telling me. There's been a lot of sleepless nights. There's been a lot of stress. Fortunately, like I said, my hair keeps growing, but it's starting to get a little grayer. But
wow.
We look at it this way. I was doing a recent media segment a couple of weeks ago, and the woman asked me, she's like, how have you become so successful? And I'm like, well, you know what? How do you rate success? Like, what does success mean? You got to look at, it's so variable. Bottom line is, it's just consistency It's just keep doing the same thing. And I've said it, probably twice, maybe the third time now, but slow and steady is going to win this race. I mean, yeah, we were the first to get in, and we're going to be around a long time because we're not doing things to try to make the quick buck like a lot of other people are. And when this industry gets regulated, it's going to be
a lot of fallout. There's going to be a lot of fallout. It's already happening. Yeah, it's already happening. I mean, now, and I know we're bumping up on our time here. Now when I have friends call me like, I'm going to start a CBD company, I'm like, okay, bro, good luck. I think you missed the train.
Well, yeah. I mean, in a way, there's so much involved. There really is, and
yeah,
and it's patience. I've learned so much over the last 5 years about patience with myself and sacrifice in all different areas. And it's like, we've had PE groups and other private investors come to us and say, well, if you don't have a patent on your product, well, I can go start a CBD company tomorrow.
Yeah, you can go for it.
I said you can. I said, but I'll tell you what, you'll struggle.
I always tell people that. I'll have recruiters will call me. They'll be like, I was thinking about maybe joining your brand, but I'm pretty sure I can do this on my own. I'm going to go start my own thing. I'm always like, go for it. If you think starting a brand's easy, do it, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let me ask you, I know we're out of time. A couple more quick questions here.
Sure.
Will the PE money make you a minority owner on the cap table, or are you going to maintain control?
We will maintain control. Absolutely.
Good for you. Good job. Well, hey, if you can get somebody to give you money and you're still in control, excellent.
Thank you.
Now PE firms, of course, they're going to be looking to either combine you with something or flip you or do something in 3 to 5 years or whatever. I'm sure you guys talked about all of that. But the money is going to be used for what? Sales, marketing, and distribution into large wholesale or large retailers and more products, or all the above?
We have other new evidence-based products that we're going to bring to market. And yes, we need to bring on distribution, gurus and marketing, digital media. I mean, it's a full-blown scale expansion. So we go into, this small company into a larger company, having other passionate, like-minded people to make it happen.
Raising cash was a pain. Probably that's a whole nother podcast. We could do a whole nother episode just on cash raise, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Are you glad?
Glad already. That's tough.
People don't understand. They've never done it. If you're trying to be a CEO of a startup, you're trying to run day to day.
Yeah. And
you're dealing with this whole other massive project to raise cash. I mean, that is a major drain on your time. Can be. It's huge. I don't like to have my time wasted. Nobody does. Yeah.
We've met with a lot of people, and we had people in the beginning that wanted to acquire us flat out, or like you said, give us that big fat check, but wanted controlling interest. I'm like,
oh yeah.
How could you take controlling interest? You know nothing about this industry. It doesn't make sense. And that's what's phenomenal with this group that we're working with now. They get it. And we're super excited to work with them.
Great, man.
And the connections that they have.
Good for you. Hey, you built a multi-million-dollar business. You're paying yourself. I'm assuming you're cash flow positive because you're making money and you just raised cash. You got through a divorce. You're raising 2 teenagers. I mean, hey man, congrats. You've had a lot of accomplishments while dealing with lots of hurdles, and I appreciate the hustle and the work ethic, which in today's world, especially with younger people, I don't see a lot of sometimes. So appreciate it, man. I admire it.
That means a lot coming from you and all that you do. It's fantastic. And,
congratulations.
It's just, you're born with it. Like I said, either you can go live a great life too, not being a CEO or a business owner. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's just kind of not how I'm wired.
Same for me, bro. Brad, thank you so much for being on the Riderflex podcast. I really appreciate it, man.
Likewise. Appreciate the opportunity, Steve. Yeah. So we raised, about a $500,000 doing
Oh,
that.